Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to Three Zen. This morning, I'm going to take a little bit of a departure from my normal war story hour, if you will, and talk to you about a date that was very special to me. November 6th, 1998. That was the day my first grandchild, Delaney, was born at dark 30. I think around 4:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere like that. And it was a date that's still very special to me. So I was home asleep. I lived about 7, 8 miles from the hospital at that time. And I got a call from my daughter, and she says, "Dad, I'm calling to tell you that your first grandchild, Delaney Page, was born." Oh, I was excited, just as most of us are when our grandchildren are born. So I got up and I was off to the hospital. But before I got up, or before I left the house, anyway, before I left the house, I went in, took a shower, shaved, and then I put on a coat and tie because that's the way I wanted my granddaughter to see me first instead of my usual kit. I wanted her to see me dressed up in a coat and tie. It was that special to me. So I got in the car and I started into the hospital, and a lot of emotions were running through me. At that time, I had 4 years of sobriety, and I was a little bit nervous, I suppose, with the whole idea of it all, family and so forth. But anyway, as I drove through the village of Monclova, about halfway to the hospital, I had a wave hit me that just about knocked me over. A thought came to my mind. Bob, what if she doesn't like you? And that reflects the insanity of the nature of this disease of alcoholism. Just plain and simple. And that about brought me to a stop. And for the first time in 4 years, actually 4.5 years, I wanted to drink. I wanted a beer. And I'm not so sure if there hadn't been a bar in that town and it was open, I might not have pulled in for one. I don't know. But be that as it may, I continued on. And that thought, Bob, what if she doesn't like you? It scared the living hell out of me. So I drove on to the hospital and I got out. And I wasn't quite shaking, but I was very close to it. And I walked in the hospital and I walked up the stairs to the floor where her room was. And I just wanted to burn some of that energy, I suppose. Well, I walked into her room and there was Dana with Delaney. And I bore-sighted in on that kid. And all that angst just left. Somebody once told me that when babies are born, when they come into the world, they bring their own love. And boy, did I feel that morning. There was something about it. It was so enveloping. I've never felt that before. I had never allowed myself to feel anything like that before. And it was a magic feeling. And I had never felt it. I walked over and Dana said, "Here, Dad, here's your granddaughter." And I took her in my arms and walked over, sat down, and just was mesmerized by it. You can see it on the image I'm going to include for the introduction of this video. And I sat there just so proud and so excited about it. And what a magic moment that was. So I took Delaney. I don't know what it was, but I gave her back to Dana and stood around and chatted for a moment, and then it was time to get on my way. So I went down in the car and headed back home. This time when I passed through Monclova, I called my sponsor, my AA sponsor, and I said, "Jim, I don't know what I'm feeling." He said, "What do you mean?" And it was about 5:30, 5:45, maybe 6:15, somewhere in that area there. And I said, "Well, Jim," I said, first of all, my granddaughter was born, and I said, as I was heading to the hospital, I said it was scary. I said I was so afraid she wouldn't like me either, and it was almost incapacitating. But once I got into the hospital and saw her, all that just dissolved. It just went away. It was just amazing. So I said, once I saw her, I said, I had a feeling come over me I've never felt before. And I explained to him a little bit what I just told you about. And he said, Bob, he said, that is the feeling, the emotion of joy. Really? That's what it is. I never knew that. So I will be forever grateful to Delaney for not only bringing love into the world, but for introducing me to that concept of joy. I was on cloud nine. I drove on a little further and decided to call Dana back. So I called her and I explained to her, I said, Dana, I can't tell you how much joy I'm filled with. I said, I'm afraid it will wear off. I said, can you think about having another kid? And that joy has never left me. It's still in here when I think of Delaney. I don't talk to her much anymore. I haven't seen her in a couple years. I don't know where she is, but she still brings joy to me, and I still love her so much. So happy birthday, Delaney, and we'll talk to you soon.